It's my pleasure to welcome Robin Oden here this evening. And I spent a little time chatting with her yesterday, and I had sat with her work on Sunday, and just wanted to know a little bit more about how she arrived in the Valley. So Robin came here 20 years ago from Baltimore on vacation and loved it so much that she decided to move here. Robin teaches art at a high school and a middle school and at a retirement community. And she teaches painting, drawing, and digital photography. We're blessed to have Robin here at St. Barnabas, and she's been with us just under 1 year. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Robin, when I walked into the room and saw your painting, there was one thing that immediately struck me, and that was that Jesus' arm is full of life, color and life. And we went on to talk a little bit about the inspiration you had of this painting, and you mentioned that your grandfather's painting inspired you to begin this. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us some more about that?
Sure. My grandfather in 1958 did this drawing in soft chalk pastel, and I've lived with it in my mother's home, and now it's in my home. And it always just was, it struck me. It was a stunning painting, drawing, and I don't know if you can notice, there's actually a question mark as the nail. And so, knowing my grandfather and knowing a little bit about him, I know that he had a struggle. And so that also remained with me. And he is no longer with us, but I always wanted to interpret the painting my way. And that is why when I interpreted the painting, I chose surrealism. I wanted it to have some parts of it that were abstracted and some parts of it that were realism and some parts of it that were agony and some parts that were beauty. And so that is why the hand has life.
Yep.
And I wanted it to be from Jesus' point of view, and I wanted you to be able to identify with all the figures.
When I walked into the sanctuary this evening, Robin's grandfather's drawing was here, and I hadn't seen this. I had seen this, and I immediately, and I'm a closet art history person, I love reading about art, and I said to myself, I think that's German Expressionism. And so I asked Robin, and she said yes.
Yes.
And so, and I don't want to detract from your work, but I believe it really is the foundation of the underpinning of this. So tell us a little bit about what you know of this.
Well, my grandfather was a prisoner of war. He was shot down in Germany, and I know that that remained with him as a big part of his identity. And I think that is why he dabbled in German Expressionism. I have several of his drawings and paintings that are of that style. And you can also, even the colors in this, it's very, very morose. There's a lot of pain in this. And so that always stood out to me as well. He was actually operated on when he was in Germany, so he had an arm that was injured, and so I just always saw the pain. And when I started to do this, when I got the email and I read the scripture and I was thinking about the painting and thinking about my grandfather and thinking about Jesus, I was thinking about how he was looking out at others during such a painful time. And so I wanted to reflect that as well. And the twisted figure is meant to you're meant to see the agony and the twisted figure, but I wanted it also to have that desert life as well. And that's pretty much what I was thinking when I painted it. So I didn't want to detract with too much of Jesus' body. I didn't want to call attention to too much of that pain, if that makes any sense. I wanted you to see him looking out and thinking of the world.
And the fellow prisoner who was crucified with him, and the agony of his mom.
And she's a compositional element. She's meant to point you back in the direction upward, and then you come back through the hand. So the hand is pointing in a direction, and that's exactly what he did as well. He brought you into a circular composition that way, and that's why her angle is pointing upward, and the perspective is out through his arm, and it brings you back down through the cross, the way you look at the painting. So,
thank you.
yeah.
Any questions for Robin? Yes, Mary. Does someone have them? Okay.
Okay, is that good? Sometimes an artist will do things in their painting, they're not really aware of something happening, and they look at it later and they say, oh, that must have been in my subconscious. So I don't know whether you intentionally did this or not, but there's something I see in it. And the green in your grandfather's is the question mark, right?
Yes,
And you said that he always questioned.
yes.
Was he questioning the crucifixion?
I don't know. I can't speak for him.
Well, I'm assuming he was. He may not have been. But then I see in your painting, the green is not a question mark. No. It's a strong line, which means that, to me, that you weren't questioning, that you understood.
No.
The
That's
crucifixion.
correct.
So I don't know if that was your intention, but I read that into it.
I don't know.
So the comment, would you like me to repeat the comment? So the comment was that sometimes artists unintentionally add something, or there is something within the work of art that we don't realize we have added. And Mary was commenting on the green question mark. Can everyone see where that is on the top right? And we don't know what her grandfather's intention was of that. We can surmise, but that Robin, the green is in Robin's painting too, but is actually a flowing river rather than a question mark. And so, Robin, any response to that?
I didn't do that on purpose, but as you said, it could be subconscious. I don't know. I was meaning to make compositional elements. I wanted to make elements in the painting that draw you in, that take you around the painting, and that's what I was doing with the green. So.
Yes.
Yes.
The question was, is the red the blood of Christ? And
Yes.
Yes.
I noticed that you've done several different perspectives with the shadows that you've depicted in this painting, and also that the shadows aren't necessarily entirely depictive of what they reflect. I wondered if you could talk about that.
I'm just going to. So the comment is that Robin has used shadows, and the shadows aren't necessarily where we might expect the shadows to be.
So my original intent was that you could empathize or understand from each person's perspective. I wanted you to be able to understand as the criminal, I wanted you to understand from Jesus' point of view, and I wanted you to understand from his mother. So I wanted that. In painting it, I don't know that I thought it all through with the shadows themselves, but I did want you to be a little put off, as surrealism does, you know, with the abstraction versus the realism, just that there was something that was enticing. I wanted you to look deeper, look a little bit further. But I don't know that I thought about the shadows in all the perspectives intentionally.
Yes. Erica, thanks.
Yeah, I was just struck by the differences between the nails of the two different paintings. In your father's painting, it's a very large nail, and in yours, it's almost intentionally small.
Yes.
And I know that has also a very surrealistic kind of quality to it, but it's almost just as painful in some strange way, looking at it in its smallness somehow. It translates an intense pain somehow, even being so small. But anyway, if you could maybe comment on why you chose such a size difference there.
So the comment was about the nails, the size of the nails in the two different pictures. The nail in the grandfather's drawing is large and very apparent, and then here in Robin's painting, the nail is small, and in fact, I think I agree with you. We can almost feel the pain of that. It's like the nails we use in our house, in our own homes, and so.
I did use a nail from the house. I actually nailed it into the wall in front of my studio to paint it. So it is a house nail. But I did not want it to be the focal point of the painting. I did not want it, even though that is the station, I did not want, I guess it's from that childhood understanding of looking up at a crucifixion and thinking, you know. I wanted you to see beauty. I wanted you to see the love. I didn't want the nail to take over and be agony. Does that make sense? Yeah, I guess.
Hi. Hi. This is beautiful, Robin. And I think what I noticed is just what you were saying, and I was thinking it before you said it, which is the gentleness in his hand, the absolute smooth, easy, almost reaching to the criminal who's looking at him and offering him solace.
Yeah.
The hand seems loving, and you really captured that from my perspective, and that the criminal is experiencing that. So.
Thank you.
So the comment is about the gentleness of the hand and how the hand is reaching out to the crucified, the criminal, and it has a loving gesture to it and a gentleness.
So the more I look at it, the more it intrigues the bejeebers out of me.
Good.
And I'm not an art aficionado, so let me just say that. So if I allow it, the hand takes over. If I allow it, is that Mary? That
Yeah.
face takes over.
Yeah.
If I allow it, the prisoner takes over. And constantly the blue is drawing my attention. Can you comment about the sky blue?
Sky blue.
Did everyone hear that? Okay.
I really wanted the desert colors. I think I'm inspired by the music center. I think I'm inspired by those stained glass windows every time I'm in there. So I was thinking desert colors, desert colors. I wanted there to be light. So. Light. Yes. Good, good. I mean, this was so dark, really dark. So I just, that's not how I felt about it. It's not what I wanted to portray, so. But I wanted to take something of it since it's such a big part of my life too, so.
Thank you. One last question, or two last questions? Two.
Thanks very much, Robin, for sharing this with us and with your grandfather's painting. I think we can all, as artists, talk about a dream or something that has inspired us, and then we paint our reality. I just want to say that the insignificance of that nail is great,
Oh, good.
because it's the agony of that tiny thing that struck me immediately.